Joining me now to discuss the chief strategist for BubbaTrading.com, Todd Horowitz, and the author of the book, How Do I Tax Thee?, Kristin Tate. Kristin, let me start with you. I mean, it was negative chatter, recession, recession, recession. I think people got scared.
I think you're right. I mean, many in the mainstream media were predicting terrible economic times, and it seemed like even hoping for a recession, but it's because many of them hate Trump and they wanted to make it look like the tax cuts weren't working. But these predictions were in stark contrast to the forecast from the Federal Reserve. Meanwhile, employment was on the rise and inflation was relatively tame. I gotta say, December was kind of like deja vu back to November 2016. Back in 2016, the smart money was telling us that the market was going to crash because of Trump's election. But of course, these predictions just kind of signaled a bottom in the stock market. The same thing happened in December. The stock market started to correct, and the media gleefully predicted a recession and a bear market. But again, it just signaled a nice bottom in the market.
Todd, you're in the midst of all of this all the time, and you're looking at it more perhaps from a stock market point of view. And my thinking initially when that retail sales report came out was that it was the stock market that perhaps spooked consumers. But when you see savings spike to that degree, people were really afraid.
Well, Charles, I think that you have to be worried. You know, first of all, you do have the idiots that are reporting nonsense news, or as Trump likes to call it, fake news, because, again, they want to create something. They'd rather see the markets collapse because they want to get rid of Trump. But at the end of the day, the markets themselves, I think you're seeing people that might be finally starting to realize that they've got way too much debt. And I think you might see some saving because they know this debt is going to come due. You know, their own personal debt. I mean, we have credit card debt at record highs. We have margin debt at record highs. So, again, at some point, this has to come
So you think,
to
Todd,
bear,
there was this,
and I think that's a problem.
Todd, a general epiphany that takes savings from 6.1 to 7.6% in 1 month? I don't know if that's ever happened, and not while wages are going up.
Well, Charles, have you ever seen markets move as fast as they move today? Remember, we're at a much bigger multiple than we've been. You know, I've been doing this since the Dow was 800. Okay, so now the Dow's 25,000 or 26,000. So again, numbers change. They work a lot faster now because of everything that goes on. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of this has to do with the impending debt. I think people are concerned. Certainly they're concerned about a possible recession. I believe that there's going to be a recession at some point in the next 12 months. So I think there's some big issues here. And again, that doesn't take away the point that investors should stay the course and stay in the market, because as we see almost every time I'm on with you, year over year, they go up about 8% on average, and you should not be concerned and not watch the market on a day-to-day, nor listen to the news. You should do your own research.
Todd, I didn't know you've been around so long. You probably have your initials in that buttonwood tree down on Wall Street. Let me ask you, Kristin, because one thing we're not doing in the media is we're not celebrating home ownership at the highest point that it's been since 2004. Millennial or older millennial home ownership at a 5-year high. Black home ownership starting to surge. We don't celebrate those or the wage gains. I mean, and this is what bothers me. The great news that we all share as Americans rarely gets talked about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so much to be optimistic about right now. The Trump economy is still surging. Consumer confidence shot up last month. Unemployment is still at record lows. You know, the one threat to this booming economy that I see right now is that many industries can't find enough workers to fill all the jobs. I mean, that's especially true for tradesmen jobs like metal workers and you know, I think the few people who are having trouble finding jobs right now are liberal bloggers who used to work for BuzzFeed and HuffPo.
Todd, Kristin, thank you both very much. Appreciate it.